How's it going, everyone? So I'm just chilling here, sipping on my morning elixir, sipping on some ginseng. We need to make that a freaking rap song, chopped and screwed. But yeah, just chilling here, sipping on my morning elixir, and I decided I would use my normal morning meditation time to respond to this comment that I got on a video I did, I think, yesterday. So this comment is actually great. It's great in the sense that there's a lot we can discuss and extract from it and create some magnificent value. Okay. So this, I believe, is a new subscriber of mine, and he says, my IQ is clocked in at around 95, and my life is literally hell. I try hard, and I used to work to 10 p.m., an office job. People don't seem to understand if I don't work to nighttime, I might get fired. It's a demanding job. I honestly don't know how I got hired. Usually, I get a cognitive test, but this job interview, it was a test of personality and a coding challenge, which I feel was too easy because most of the library package already did 90% of the work I would have done without it. I feel down because I feel like this will be my life 40 to 50 years ahead. F that. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to assume that this comment was left on this video because this person genuinely desires some advice or some help. A lot of times, though, people leave comments like this in response to something that I say in a video as a means of kind of justifying their suffering. But I'm gonna, and that's very, very common in YouTube comments where somebody might, like me, might come on the scene and say, hey, people suffer due to a lack of the right knowledge applied in the right way, which is what I was talking about in that last video. And people will hear me say that, and then they'll say, well, I suffer because I must, work this job that I hate and all this other stuff. So my suffering is mandatory. I have a reason for my suffering, and it has nothing to do with knowledge. But this person didn't say that, so I'm not going to bark down that tree. This person seems, like they're genuinely trying to improve their situation. They just don't know how, and that's 100%. That's cool. That's good. So, yeah. So let's break down this comment and let's try to kind of like extract some value from it. So, first of all, your IQ being clocked in at 95. Okay. So, yeah, that is a correlation that this person seemed to have made. That their IQ is 95. And their life is hell. That's literally the first sentence. First and foremost, there are so many freaking people. So, because I mentioned I had 149 IQ in the second grade. So, look, having a high IQ does not automatically equate to success or happiness, okay? In fact, it can cause a lot of turmoil for people who may have the intelligence, like I do, 149 IQ, whatever, but they lack the discipline to apply that freaking intelligence effectively. And so there's a lot of people on YouTube that actually say, the reason, so more intelligent people are at a higher risk of depression because they see the world for the way that it is. Those motherfuckers are justifying their suffering by claiming they're suffering due to intelligence, okay? So there are literally people who blame their suffering on how smart they are. So that's a good way of boosting their ego. Like, oh, I'm smarter than everyone else. Y'all are all happy because you're dumb. And if you were as smart as me, you would be depressed. And for me, I mean, again, 99th percentile of intelligence, 149 IQ in the second grade. And I've gone through periods of suffering just like everyone else, but I don't allow myself to abide by this limitation of my IQ is this or that. Therefore, my life is this or that because of my IQ, right? Like my life has to suck because I have a low IQ, or I have to be depressed because I have a high IQ. But there's people out there that put those boundaries and limitations on themselves. So what I'm trying to say is, this person says they have a 95 IQ. So I don't know if they assume that that's high or not, because I know the average is like 80. But look, to me, as far as I'm concerned, as far as objective standards are concerned, supposedly. Also, IQ doesn't really mean a whole lot, in my opinion. It's the closest thing we have to like an objective quota of intelligence that can be quantified. But there are many types of intelligence. There's not just like, logic, pattern recognition, and some of the other things that they test IQ from. So just because you score as a 95 on an IQ test has nothing to do with like your actual like real world level of intelligence that is applicable to life, okay? And no matter how intelligent you are based on any standard, whether it's an IQ test or whether it is whatever, okay? Like there are people who graduate with PhDs in college and they're in heavy debt. And like, that's a common theme you hear in a stereotype that's placed upon college graduates is they're heavy in debt. That's not always the case, but that's common. I know people, like I've had family members and friends and things who graduated with master's degrees and even PhDs in finance or economics and things related to that, or even business. And they're working a regular like 9 to 5 job where they're not even applying anything they learned. They don't have their finances or economic status together, even though they have those PhDs. So what I'm getting, and they're miserable and always complaining about their life. So what I'm trying to get at there is that, your IQ is not causally linked to your success or your happiness in life. And I can assure you, having a higher IQ is one hell of a freaking responsibility because, at least for me, for what it's worth, maybe it's not IQ related, my brain is like 10,000 thoughts per minute. And well, not now because I take tonic herbs and do meditation, so I'm all right now. But man, that's a lot of fucking horsepower. If you have a car with 1,000 fucking horsepower and you don't have the right tires, the handling, and the machinery to be able to handle that fucking horsepower, it starts to look like psychosis, manic depression, and all sorts of mental illness to the average person because that's a lot of mental chatter. So anyway, you might actually be blessed to have a lower IQ, even though IQ don't mean shit, okay? That's coming from me, who always talks about having 149 IQ. It's meaningful, but it just isn't that meaningful. You shouldn't care that much about it in regards to your life status. So let's continue. The most important thing this person's saying is that their life is literally hell. Okay, so that's a problem right there. Okay, and that's exactly this comment is great because it's exactly what I was talking about in my last video. This person I can 100% see they have belief systems, patterns of thought, habits of thought that are guiding them to create self-fulfilling prophecies that make them suffer. So we'll get into that. So they say their life is hell. They try hard and used to work to 10 p.m. in an office job. I'm assuming they still do from what they're saying. They say people don't seem to understand if I don't work to nighttime, I might get fired. It's a demanding job. I don't even know how I got hired and blah, blah, blah. And then they talk about how there was no cognitive test. Look, you are putting way too much weight on cognition power and intelligence, okay? This person sounds like they believe that they are I don't know, mentally declined or something like that. Mentally, like that they have mental deficits of some kind that makes them less able to do their job or something. But again, it does not see, this person's looking down on themselves. I say, I honestly don't know how I got hired. They didn't do a cognitive test and this and that. You don't believe in yourself. You obviously have a very low self perception of your abilities. And I can guarantee you it has, like, it's not that you're not, that you lack the ability or that you lack the faculties necessary to do the job, but 100% it sounds like this person's in the wrong job or the wrong field, okay? Um, they say they feel down because they obviously do not like the job that they're doing. Um, Whether, regardless of the IQ or the cognitive tests or whatever it might be, they don't like working their long hours, working at 10 p.m. in an office job. And they say their life is literally hell. And they feel down because they feel like this will be their life 40 to 50 years ahead. Okay. So the most important, so that's the comment, right? Um, all of this, the chatter about IQ being not, whatever 95 and cognitive tests, and they don't know how they got hired. None of that shit matters. That's irrelevant. Okay, your real problem has nothing to do with IQ at all. Your real problem has to do with you are living a life that you do not like. You literally said your life is hell. You believe you have to work till 10 p.m. or you'll get fired from this job that you say yourself makes you feel like you're living a life of hell. And you said yourself that you are suffering. You feel down because you feel like your life is going to be just like this 40 to 50 years into the future. And then you said F that because you know you don't want the life you're living right now. So your real problem from my perspective, someone who had phases of my life that were like that, and then I completely learned how to like rise above and conquer it. Your problem is you have a value system. What you have things that are important to you in your life that you're neglecting, and you're not living in alignment with the things you think are important in your life. Your value system. I have videos about this, but I never feel like I get it out as effectively as necessary. So what I mean is, okay, so first of all, you need to read the book Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. The problem is you're so deep in your suffering right now, and you're so deep in your limiting beliefs, that if you read a book like that, you may have a lot of resistance trying to buy into its information at first. It's going to sound like a lot of magical thinking and a lot of positive rah-rah that isn't reflective of reality and how the real world works. But I can tell 100% through multiple avenues of this tiny paragraph you left me. And thank you, by the way, because I'm used to people leaving me whole essays, like 9 paragraphs to extract. And I don't even have enough time for those a lot of times, but I do my best to get back to them. You have a lot of limiting beliefs. You believe that you have to work this job that you don't like in order to make a living. You believe that you have to work these long hours until 10 p.m. at nighttime or else you'll get fired from this job. You're in a scarcity mindset. This job in your mind is God. You are literally putting this job on a pedestal, okay? So you didn't give me a lot of details, probably because you didn't expect me to extract it this much, which is all right. But maybe there's a certain threshold of finances that you are trying to maintain, okay? I don't know if you have a wife and you have kids, okay? For me, I'm happy that I don't have a wife and kids. Well, a wife is not a wife, a girlfriend would make more sense. I think marriage is a complete, oh God, like why? What is the fuck is the point? Anyway. I think marriage comes from a scarcity mindset, actually, and it's an illusion to think that if you marry someone that it means you're going to be tied together forever. Anyway, where's it going with that? Yeah, so if you I don't know if you have children or not, but look, okay, there's a lot of things. So first of all, if you do have children, and you live with them, and then you also have a wife, let's just say. I don't know if that's you. You didn't tell me or not, but I'm just going to say, man, you better make sure that your girlfriend or your wife or, the mother of your children are, embarking on the same journey as you are to improve your financial situation so that your life is not hell. If you are in a relationship, I don't know if you are, but if you have a wife and kids and your life is hell like this, I guarantee you that the hell that you're living in from your job is rubbing off and boiling over into their lives too. Okay, this is now a joint effort in that case. So if you're suffering so badly and you have kids to take care of and a wife, you're not doing them any favors by staying in this position just for the money. Okay? I know this firsthand because when I was a child, there was a dynamic just like this that was going on. Nobody wins from trying to force a marriage that isn't working, a financial situation that isn't working. Just because you're getting the money doesn't mean that you're winning, okay? But society, they're all a bunch of suffering, ineffective fucks who all worship money and worship killing themselves for that money, assuming that that is the be-all, end-all of their life. But you should know from the suffering you're feeling that ain't the case, okay? So anyway, what I'm saying there is if you have a wife and kids, okay, obviously the kids, you need to support them somehow. So that makes the threshold of money that you need, you have less wiggle room. You have less flexibility. You have a minimum threshold of money that you need to hit in order to support those children. The wife, if you have one, is going to, if you chose properly, most people don't, okay? If you have the female dynamic down that I mentioned in the last video, where you're living a life of purpose and inspiration and you're living in accordance to your vision and stuff, the female will start to feel inspired and compelled to help support that vision. And she'll have her own vision as well, but the point is you both flourish together and the money takes care of itself in that case scenario. But I can tell 100%, and please don't take this personally, the suffering you're living right now is a side effect of the faulty mindset and approach to life that also creates kind of like simp-like behavior, trick-ass behavior. Please don't take this offensively. Where any female that gets involved, especially if you're living with a girl, she is not going to be able to respect you or love you fully when you're living this way. That's a fact, and this is what most people get wrong. It's not about the fucking money. It's not about being a provider for a female, okay? Because if you're fucking suffering making that money, that girl is not gonna. That's how cheating happens. You're working all fucking day to get that money because you worship money. You think that that's gonna solve your female problems or whatever. And then the woman, she's lacking the emotional connection and the full range of emotions to experience with you and all these other things. So suffering bleeds over and then she cheats on you. And so anyway, let's continue to the solution. Okay. So look, so that's a whole nother video, but I don't even know if you have a wife or not. So I'm not going to get into that. Let's see. Yeah. But you believe that you have to do this suffering job in order to make the money that you believe you need to live the life that you need. So first thing you need to do is live within your means. That's the first thing, okay? There is zero reason for you to be fucking suffering to make money if your budget is in check and you're living in a life situation that you can sustain without killing yourself. Okay, that's the first thing. From what what the fuck are you like living in California where a studio apartment is like $2,000 or whatever? Because if that's the case, you better fucking move. Okay, move somewhere else. Okay, to where your life is worth living. Okay, this is a thing. Like a lot of people, they're suffering from the lack of belief that they can live a life worth living, okay? and they don't understand. Like, your personality is not set. Your intelligence level is not set. It's not fixed. The brain is plastic, okay? Neuroplasticity, Google it. The fact is, neuroplasticity, the brain making physical changes, building new neural pathways and whatnot. It is a lifelong process. Most people, they want to believe the brain stops changing at a certain age. That's fucking false. And it only that belief system only serves the pharmaceutical industry, so they can put you on medications if you're living in this mess that you're living. But anyway, you need to identify your values. You need to understand. You need to identify what's important to you. Okay. You need to, and so just to give an example so you understand what that is. Okay. So your value system is going to dictate what threshold of money you need to make, what type of relationships you need to have in your life. Your priorities are going to be very crystal clear if you have your values in perspective. It's going to help you understand what type of job or career or means of making money is most compatible with who you are. Okay? And these are all things that are not taught. And again, like I was saying in the last video, the average person doesn't think about this shit. They get in whatever career will accept them into their employee lounge. They'll get with whatever girlfriend or whatever guy accepts them for their flawed self. They'll hang out with whatever friends like accepts them for who they are or whatever. People are selecting jobs and girlfriends and things that are way below their standards, that are way below their what they feel is important, just because it's a scarce mindset. They're like, oh, I'm flawed, I have a low IQ, I'm dumb, whatever. I'll be lucky to make enough money in this society. I'll be lucky to even have a job. I'm just lucky to not be homeless. I'm just lucky to have any girl like me. That mindset is what keeps you fucked. It's what keeps you stuck. It's what keeps you depressed and suffering. Okay? And there is zero reason for you to live that way other than mental laziness and emotional crybaby bullshit that you are choosing to fucking swim in. Okay? It's about time you step your butterfly stroke up and start swimming to the deep end. Wait. Get the fuck out that pool. Quit swimming in your tears, goddammit. Anyway, so let's get to it. Okay. So again, value systems, right? So there's a lot of ways to slice it, okay? And again, I'm on the other side of this equation now, where I have all these things. I have passions. I have all these skills I've developed, okay? And in your free time, you need to be acquiring skills, information, things you're passionate about, okay? If you don't have something that you're passionate about that you can monetize right now, that's easily monetizable, okay? You need to find that shit. You need to spend all your free time on finding skills that you can be passionate about, that you can really put your heart and soul into, that you can monetize without it sucking your soul straight out the womb. Whatever, out the body, whatever. Okay? Just like I did over the years. Okay? I'm at the point now where I've got so much information about health, nutrition, training and fitness and psychology and disease processes and shit like that, that people actively seek out and prioritize my services. And these days, my reputation speaks for itself. YouTube, maybe I have 8,000 subscribers right now. Within my YouTube community, I have active subscribers that whenever they have a life problem, they come to me for a consultation. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to have it's funny. I know so many people who have 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then they're crying about not making enough money from YouTube and shit. It's like, well, what the fuck is your YouTube channel about? It's a bunch of like bullshit that literally has no value to fucking society. Whether it's conspiracy theories and political bullshit or whatever, their YouTube channel isn't actually about making their life better, making other people's lives better. And so they have nothing to actually monetize that's worth people's time, money, and energy. The only people that are willing to spend money on that bullshit are people who have a lot of time to waste. Anyway, with my 8,000 subscribers, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So anyway, yeah, that's hilarious. Like, I don't know how much money you're making. Like, working till 10 p.m., you better be getting $50 an hour at least, okay? Because as a personal trainer, that's like, depending on how you structure your business, entry-level personal training is around $40 to $60 an hour, and that's entry-level, okay? So I could easily make, $50 to $100 an hour in 1 hour of just like personal training, okay? But of course it's a field you got to apply your mind to. You have to have a lot of interpersonal skills, informational skills, all this shit that most people can't develop. Anyway, yeah, you need to identify what's important to you. So like, an easy way to do this is, what are all the things that you hate about your 9-to-5 job? What are all, or your 9 to 10 job? What are all the things you hate about the job you're working? Okay. First, write that shit down on a piece of paper. Next thing you do is write down all of the opposites of the things you hate about your job. Okay. Do this. Okay. Have a freaking line down the middle in a page on a notebook. One side, all the shit you hate. One side, all the things you like. Okay. Or one side, all the things that are opposite of what you hate. And if you do that, you'll clearly see the opposite of all the things you hate is exactly the things that you want in a career and whatnot. Do the same thing in relationships, okay? But that's your own specific task that you need to do, okay? And then seek out jobs that are in alignment with that, okay? So anyway, honestly, here is like some more stylish advice, okay? That is more inspirational, I guess, right? Again, there is not a shortage of jobs on an individual level, okay? You've got to get the fuck out the scarcity mindset. You've got to believe that there are opportunities out there just waiting for you to jump on in them, okay? The deeper you are in limiting beliefs and the deeper you are in your sadness and your suffering, the harder and harder it is to get out, because the only real problem is your belief about what is possible for you. Okay, for you. That's completely dictated on what you allow yourself to believe and to think and to expect. If you have expectations of suffering, you literally you were implying that you feel like you're going to be in the same bullshit for 40 to 50 years, okay? That is an expectation that you're going to suffer your entire life. That is where your problem is. You're expecting, they're like, oh shit, like, this is how my life is going to be. This is just the way my future will be. And I have all these reasons why I must work this living hell of a job that I don't like, okay? That is where your problem is. So, yeah. The first thing you need to do is read the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Another book you can read that is similar but a completely different approach and is harder to understand, they use a lot of weird lingo, is the book The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks, okay? And I know that sounds like people are going to hear that and be like, what the hell? Like, oh please, law of attraction and blah, blah, blah. Hey man, honestly, if you want to conquer this bullshit, whether it's magical thinking or it's not real or it's not based in science, none of that shit matters. The fact of the matter is, if you follow the methods in these, especially in both of these books, I recommend reading them both and applying their methods, okay? Your whole fucking life will change. You will start to see it, and it'll be hard for you to believe. You're like, what the hell? That these weird coincidences start to stack up, and you build momentum, and over time you see more and more possibility and opportunities open up just by changing your emotional state, changing the thoughts that you think, and changing what you're placing your attention on and how you're focusing on it. Okay. But yeah, honestly, um, again, like from where you're at, it's going to be very hard to just jump on into where I'm at. But here's some advice from my side of things. Develop a passion, start to read a lot of information about a subject you want to become an expert in, okay? Read a lot of information about something you want to monetize, okay? So for me, there's a lot of things. Obviously, psychology and stuff like that has become it's always been a natural thing for me, but health science, how I got all, super badass at like health science information, neurotransmitters, and herbs and nutrition and all this shit. I had some very severe health problems, and doctors couldn't help me. I was at rock bottom. Okay, mental health and physical health, and I started to just trying to find out what is the truth, and I was trying to fix my own problems through my research. So I didn't start this journey saying, hey, I want to make $1 million or whatever, or I want to like make a career out of it. In fact, at the time when I started, believed that I was going to be a famous vocalist. And then I thought I was going to be a famous martial artist. That was like the weird thing. I guess I'm kind of living the martial artist thing now, kind of. Anyway, no, my career came as a side effect of trying to fix my own health problems. And I'd say strength training and performance, because for me, I consider I have two careers. I'm a health consultant that works with health science information and diseases. And number two, I'm a personal trainer and performance coach. And I would say those are two separates as well. But being a personal trainer allows me to combine my passion for improving fitness, improving performance, improving strength, improving martial arts ability, which I acquired by passion alone. It combines that with the information I acquired from reversing my own diseases and learning about the facts of nutrition science, which I learned, through my own suffering. So I basically took the suffering I was dealing with as a child and as a 20-year-old or whatever in my 20s. I took that suffering of the diseases and the mental turmoil, and I turned it into a successful personal training and health coaching business. And, the reason why you're watching this video right now is a freaking domino effect that stems back, okay, from when I was suffering. I started this YouTube channel to talk about my thoughts and my suffering and and my journey, like overcoming that suffering. And so now this video literally exists as a domino effect, okay? One coincidence after another, chain reaction over time that has created what this YouTube channel is today. So you have to understand where you are today it is going to be completely different than where you are going to be in 40 years. And I can guarantee you're not going to be at the same job or even in the same field in 40 years, okay? Because if you're suffering this bad, something's going to happen that's going to freaking kick you out of this job, whether you do it voluntarily or not, okay? That's usually how this type of shit works. So find a passion, start to read information. But the big thing is you have a lot of limiting beliefs you got to overcome. You got to believe that, like, look, there is no reason why anyone should think like look, we got YouTube. There's unlimited possibilities of creating money through YouTube. Instagram, okay? Like, really, whatever service you sell or product, let's put this in perspective. Let's say you have a service, you charge $50 an hour, Okay, $50 an hour. Let's say you sell that $50 service 100 times in a month. Okay, that breaks down to 25 $50 services a week. That equates to $5,000 at the end of the month. Okay, are you telling me you can't do some kind of service 25 hours a week? Okay, that's 5 hours per weekday. 5 hours a day. Work 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, for $50 an hour. 25 hours in 1 week, 100 hours in 1 month, $5,000 a month. Okay. Now, if you can't live off $5,000 a month, then something's wrong with your budgeting and shit like that. Okay. Even if you have kids and stuff like that, you need to move into an apartment in a good side of town, in a good place. Okay. A lot of people, they see cars and clothes and houses and they want luxury and shit like that. There's in my opinion, there is zero reason why you can't live in a nice apartment in a nice place with good management, good maintenance people who are on the job, on a good side of town for a decent price, like under $1,200. Okay. Find a town that you can do that. Okay. Seriously. Um, and if you're thinking like, oh no, how I can't have like, whatever. Okay. But look, yeah, you need to you need to make shit work for yourself. Okay. You need to learn how to, so people are like hating the system. They're hating the system. Okay. You need to find a way to win within the system and within the means that are given to you. Okay. Because as long as you're working this shit, you're losing. Okay. If I were in that, man, yeah, like honestly, the money ain't worth that. 100%. Like, what the fuck? Like, really, if you're still suffering 40 or 50 years in the future, and you're working, all of these years, you're basically giving your life away. You're giving these years away to this job. There is zero reason for you to just, you should put your 2 weeks in. Well, you should find something on Indeed.com, find a new apartment, something like that, and get a job where you can work more manageable kind of schedule in a field that actually is not this, soul sucking, and also gives you some free time on the side to develop your side hustle. Go back to fucking college, go to do some kind of trade school thing. I got a lot of friends who are into like engineering as of recently, because that's a booming field. And man, they did some kind of like accelerated college course. They got like their bachelor's degree and a job within I think it was under 3 years or something like that. It seemed faster than that. It seemed like a year and a half, but I might be tripping. And man, there is no shortage of jobs in that field, and they're doing great. I know people don't even have a damn degree and they're in the IT field, okay? And they're making $40 an hour or more. Okay, I know some that are making $80 an hour, working very low hours a week in the IT field with just a certification. Okay, God save the people that are on the other end of the phone with problems for those people. But yeah, I know people that have mad skills and are super intelligent, that build computers from scratch and do all this other stuff, which I guess isn't a huge accomplishment, whatever. And their whole passion is like computer programming and shit, but they're not monetizing that skill, because they're depressed, crying ass people, and they're working shelf stocking at Walmart, and they're like 40 years old. Most people have some kind of skill they can monetize that isn't going to suck their soul out, but they're just not capitalizing on it. And it's just a matter of realizing, oh shit, I have this skill, and then believing you can. Anyway, I've talked way too much already, but yeah, you got limiting beliefs you got to conquer, and there's a lot more to it, but I'll make more videos about how to be a badass here in the future. Uh, the real thing is, again, it's about finding what's valuable inside of yourself. Okay, and a lot of and then taking that value that you have inside of yourself and cultivating it and expanding upon it. Okay, when I first started this shit back like in 2011, before I stopped, I didn't care about health, fitness, none of that. I was playing shows and something that rhymes with shows. Um, I was not caring about health. I was stupid as hell. My brain was not functioning at all. I don't know what the hell was going on. No one would have been able to tell I had 149 IQ. Okay, probably mostly because my nutrition was complete shit, but there's a lot of other things too. Anyway, I didn't know anything about health, nutrition, fitness, strength training. I didn't know that the pH level of the stomach. I didn't know anything even simple. I didn't know anything about carbs, protein. I didn't know none of that. I don't think I even knew that diabetes could have been reversed. I didn't know what diabetes even was back then. I didn't know the difference between psychologists and a psychiatrist. I didn't know what dopamine was. I didn't give a fuck. I was dumb as fuck. I had no information at all. And this was, 2011. Even 2012, I was dumb as shit, right? But then I started to study. I started to be really interested in these things. I started to cultivate all the information, all the books, and mostly for the sake of me finding the truth. I was making videos that really sucked back then and didn't provide any value. And over time, though, man, that was, 2013 was like, what, 10 years ago? Yeah. And now I'm here and I have like over 900 videos about all these complex like nutrition and science and psychology topics and philosophy. Okay? The fact is, you don't know what the fuck you're capable of until you start to gain momentum in that direction. And that's where you need to start. Gain momentum in the direction towards who you want to be in fucking 10 years. Okay? That's it. Okay? If you're like, oh, like in 40 years, I'm scared I'm gonna be living this, bitch ass, change that shit now. Now. Okay? You need to create an ideal. What do you want to do? Stop thinking about what you don't want. Start thinking about where you want to be in 10 years. Chase that now. Okay? There is zero reason for you to be stuck in this bullshit mentality. Zero reason. Okay? What you expect of yourself is what you're going to get. Okay? Expect greater. Okay? Believe greater. You don't need to suffer. You need to choose your thoughts. Choose your career. Choose the girlfriend you want. Choose the life you want to live. And don't accept the limiting beliefs of average, suffering society. Everyone around you is going to tell you all the reasons why you can't do it. You know why? Because they don't believe they can do it. It's a virus of the mind. Don't allow yourself to be infected. Okay? Fuck shit up. Read those books. Okay? If you really give a damn about who you are in 10 years, if you really give a damn about yourself, this is the biggest thing. People will come to me crying, my life sucks, wah, wah. I'm like, hey, look, there's these 3 books that will fucking change your life. Read them. People don't fucking start reading them. Lazy fucks. Read those books. Coming to me so I could waste my fucking time giving you information that you're not going to take. Get the fuck on your grind, you fuck. Okay, all right. All right, sorry about the vulgarness. Hope y'all have a great freaking day. I got to get out of here. I got, I'm going to be, let's see. It is 3:20, and I'm going to work until 10 p.m. Yeah, that's right. And today is kind of like a slow, kind of easy day for me. Usually I train jujitsu and strength training all morning. But man, I've been training so hard, and I won that gold medal a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, I've been exhausted. So yeah. All right. Have a good one, y'all.